This is the NCAA Division III Marshall Regional Tournament, talking with Belhaven's Maddie Miller, Kevin Griffith, and Kennedy Caruth. Maddie, you did great. 2 for 2, hitting. Do you want to talk about how y'all are doing batting as a team?
Yeah, so, we always really focus on just really backing Kennedy up, with Kennedy being such an elite pitcher that just kind of has, like Coach Griffin said earlier, like just her being so lights out, our offense really has to back her up. So I think just being the leadoff, being the one who kind of sets the tone for the entire game day by day, I just kind of have the mentality that striking out, grounding out, flying out, it's really just not an option. You get up there, you set the tone, you do what you have to do as a leadoff to really just get the game going offensively. So that's just kind of my mindset, and hopefully it just leads into the rest of the lineup, it gets something going. So
that's great. And Kendi, like she said, you've been pitching pretty amazing. Can you just talk about what you've been doing this weekend?
It's pretty easy when our team can put up more runs than the other. I know that they always have my back, and like going out there today, I knew I had to execute the drop ball because they're a hard-hitting team. So I just focused on getting it below their barrel, and it worked out.
That's great. And Coach, do you just want to talk about the game today, this weekend as a whole?
Yeah, it's just a mentality. We had to show up, and it's a lot of people think that there's not much pressure on the team that doesn't have a loss, but quite honestly, there's a lot of pressure because you don't win that first one, and then anything can happen in game two. So, and it goes back to the experience that we've had in these situations. Last year in regionals, we kind of had our backs against the wall a little bit, and we still found ways to win games. And then, of course, going to supers last year, having to play Texas Lutheran and losing out to them, we kind of had that on our mind a little bit. We want a little bit of revenge, but it's hard to sit here and say that because they have such a different team. They're very young. Wade does such a good job with that group to get them to grind out at bats, and that was the most stressful day of calling pitches I think I've had in quite some time because they do such a really good job of grinding out at bats, and that's just a testament to those guys over there that work with their hitters every single day. So super proud of our girls. I just feel like this is another box check that we started out the year wanting to check off, and now we've got to go finish the drill and find a way to win a super regional so we can take that next step.
Awesome. Well, thank you for talking with me. We're going to open up the floor to some more questions.
Kenneth Nash with Blazer Sports Network. Maddie, obviously this is your first year with the program, but this team was in this situation last year. They came to Marshall in a regional, swept through, got to the super regional. How do you feel as kind of a new face for the team? Obviously went right in as center fielder, leadoff hitter. How do you feel that you've been able to kind of adjust to kind of what Belhaven is and then kind of contribute, obviously, in a big way, back-to-back Marshall regional champions?
Yeah, so I kind of knew that question was coming, just being a newcomer. I guess just knowing my role on this team, softball is something we've all done our entire lives pretty much. This team is new to me, but I knew early on coming into this how big of a rivalry it would be playing with ETBU, playing with TLU. Even though I wasn't here last year playing against them, like that rivalry, that competitive spirit, it's embedded in me. So just knowing my role, like they said earlier, knowing my role as the leadoff, as a center fielder, just knowing I have to have my teammates' backs no matter what name I have written across my chest, that's who I play for. So just having that drive in me, just knowing that I'm playing for the 8 around me and not necessarily for myself, and just knowing that the rivalry runs deep, even if it's just my first year here, that I can see it on my teammates' faces. I can see it in how Coach Griffin calls pitches. I can see it in how he executes our offense. Like, I just know that it all runs deep. And so just understanding that and putting that out there on the field, every single swing I take, every single defensive rep I have, I just know that I leave it all on the line for them. So
Absolutely. Kennedy, obviously you faced this team twice last year in the Super Regional. I want to go back to that 7th inning. Tying run got to third, nobody out. What was kind of going through your head, emotions, and how good did it feel to come out on this end of the game this time? Obviously, close games in Seguin last year and close games here this weekend. But how does it feel to come out on top? And was it kind of a sense of relief, I guess, when you got that final out?
My goodness, yeah. I knew that it was going to be a competition to the very last out. The runner got to third, and it was a pass ball, and I ran to the backstop, and I looked at Anna, and she's like, calm down. Like, you have been here before. We're fine. So just knowing that, like, she has my back, and I knew that she was going to do everything she could to not let a pass ball or me get worked up. I look at Allie, and she's like, we've been here before. We're fine. So just knowing that I have my teammates and, like, Maddie's yelling every single pitch to me, like, I was worried, but I knew that we were going to get it done.
Awesome. And then Coach Griffin, obviously we talked, I think, a couple of days ago that it was kind of a rocky start to the season for y'all. You were 7-9 at one point a few weeks in. Now you've won 17 in a row. You've won 25 of your last 27 games, and that's kind of gotten you to this point. Can you talk about a little bit, elaborate, I guess, on the expectations? Because I know that you feel like you were getting a little bit of house money getting into the tournament, but this is also where you guys expected to be if you go all the way back to January, February, getting ready for this season.
Yeah, this is kind of like home for us. I said it yesterday. We've been here so much to ETBU. It's kind of our home away from home. I wish the Super could be played here next week because we play so well here. And I don't know what it is. It's a great facility, obviously. It's fun to come play in this environment. And ETBU administration and leadership do a great job of getting this place to where it is now. It's phenomenal. But our mindset from the beginning of the year when we were going through that rough patch, I think a lot of it was just team chemistry. People had to figure each other out, know what buttons you could push with each other as far as teammates go, and how you can constructively criticize as far as just flat-out criticism. And people had to learn how to adjust to one another on this team. And once we did that, I felt like that things clicked, and that's why we've been on this 25 out of 27 run, because they started believing in each other, and it didn't matter who got the big hit. It didn't matter who played. Everybody was pulling for one another, and I think that was pretty huge.
Thank you.
The one other thing I want to say is it gets lost in the shuffle, Kenneth. Anna McNear doesn't get a lot of credit. She does with us, but she doesn't get enough. Across the country, when you're having to catch a pitcher like Kennedy throwing a lot of drop balls, she's got to be a wall back there. And, quite honestly, without her, I'm not sure if we get through this, because we had to throw drop ball after drop ball after drop ball. And the thing that's different with Kennedy this year that is different from last year as well is this year Kennedy can locate her drop ball at different places. She can start it higher and break it over the knees. She can start at the knees and break it low, or she can spike it, if you want to use a baseball term, like they do sliders and curveballs. But she has the ability to pitch on all three quadrants, and you can expect it and still not hit it a lot of times. And that's where Kennedy's growing as a pitcher. People ask me all the time, how is she better this year than she was last year? And that's how, because she has that ability. But I had to speak on Anna McNear's behalf, because she's a wall back there, and without her, we're not where we are.
Absolutely.
Well, thank y'all so much for talking with me, and huge congratulations just on how great y'all did this weekend, and good luck moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.